Hey gang, welcome back to another video at Joe Daddy's Garage. I'm a little frustrated right now, but I wanted to show you this tool or shop equipment that I bought today, and it is for working on cars on a lift. And the reason I'm buying this is I have to do some work on the convertible, the Brooklyn Pony, that is up on the lift currently, and it's kind of complicated. So I need something to support the car while I'm doing other things and working on fitting up the engine and transmission into the car. So I went and bought this 2-ton underhoist safety stand. And you know, I have one that I made, and I'll show you that in a little bit, that I've been using just as a safety type of rigging, but I really needed one that was more user-friendly and adjustable. So let me open up the box and I'll show you what you get from Harbor Freight. Alright, so as it says, 2-ton underhoist safety stand, item number 61600. These are currently on sale at Harbor Freight for $79. I've seen others, maybe a little different design, that are going for well over $100, and this thing appears to be pretty heavy duty. So let's open it up. Well, it looks like it's packaged pretty well. So you can look at the picture that's on the box, see if I don't get any glare on that, and get an idea of what this is. It's like a big jack stand that you can put underneath a car that's on a lift, and it has an adjustable threaded portion here which you can rotate and move the support post up and down. Also, you can move the part that attaches to up and down within the sleeve on the center. So you can see that there's a variety of pieces involved with this. So there's 3 long legs, and then it looks like 2 sets of 3 perimeter legs, so you create a triangle structure. So there's top piece. This is your little carrier, kind of like on the top of a jack stand. So it has a little bit of a kick up on either side here, and that just bolts on to the top of your center point of the post, which is this piece. So that'll go in pretty simple. I don't even look at the instructions. Look at that. That just goes in there, and you tighten up the bolt. And it's got a detent or an indent in this bolt or in this shaft, so it keeps it fixed in one location. Now I may have to take that back off. I'm just showing you how it goes together. We've got a bag of a bunch of bolts, so this may take a little bit of time to piece all this together. This looks like a secondary support that we'll figure out where that goes in just a minute. Pretty important piece, I'm sure. The rotating support system, you know, you can spin this and move the shaft up and down. So, and then 3 shorter legs and 3 longer legs. So create the pyramid, or the 3-sided pyramid, or triangle, whatever you want to call it. So let me start putting this together. I'm going to open up this bag of bolts and we'll see what's in there as well. Okay, so there is kind of a hitch pin that allows you to move the center shaft up and down. I think here at the top, yep, there's, pull it all the way out, there's a hole up there at the top, and that is where the pin you go through to give you different height adjustments. So that's that. Oh, it actually has some little roller bearings by the looks of it. So a race there. That's hard, like a hardened race with a groove cut in it. And there's your roller bearings. And then the other half of that. So pretty simple. Looks like you stack everything up. Okay. Now, got 3 more small brackets, all with a slight angle to them. They're not a 90-degree bend. It's kind of like a twisted bend. There you go. Now you can see that. And of course, a bunch of bolts. Now, these look like 11/16, but I'm going to double check and make sure. Alright, so I did check. Actually a 17 will fit, but it's bigger. 16 will not fit. 11/16, about as close as we're going to get. So at least we know that much. And of course, I'm going to use power tools. So I'll look over the instructions and then I'll start putting this thing together. Okay, one thing I've noticed right off is the legs have a tapered piece welded to them. And so if you look at the leg, let's say I stood one up and we looked at the end of it, you would see that this is actually at a slight angle. See if I can get a good position there. You can see that angle. And then the other end has a plate welded in. So that's going to be the bottom, I'm sure. From there, it's just going to be a bunch of piecing all the legs or the strut braces, whatever you want to call them, into place. And then you're going to build, well, you build like a little oil well, if you want to look at it that way. Or a windmill, something along those lines, but really heavy-duty windmill. And then it shows you how all this goes together with that secondary plate and a bunch of bolts. So try not to overcomplicate things. And then it gives you a breakdown, of course, up here, as I said before, that top piece, that's the saddle, your handle, center shaft, and lock pin. So I'm going to see if I can get this put together. These things have 2 different lengths. One leg is longer than the other. I'm going to try to put the shorter leg on the brace and hope that that's the right way. This piece appears to be cut in a universal way. So, meaning it'll go in either direction or any direction. Okay, now we can set the centerpiece in. And I'll use my hitch pin or clevis. I'm just going to set it at the lowest height. Lock that in. Then it looks like these bearings will sit inside of that cup up on top. So put the one piece in, set the bearing. Yeah, that'll work. Now I can thread the shaft into the adjuster, and really you should just be able to. It does have an index, by the way. I'll point that out. There's a keyway inside of this, which makes sense because for you to turn this part, you don't want the center shaft turning with it, and it also wants to stay stationary underneath whatever item you're trying to adjust. So I'll line it up on the keyway, set it down in, and then you can adjust it. Now I'll put the saddle, as it's called, on, and again it's got an indent right there. And I'll probably tighten that up just a little. That looks like a 5/8. Yep. All right. Now I can take care of the issue that I have at hand, and I'll give you a brief overview of that. But first, let me show you the difference between, this one I just bought at Harbor Freight and basically what I use as a temporary type of prop. This is nothing more than a house jack. You would put in for under a basement where you've got some beams that are settling. Same kind of thing. It's got a pin that you can adjust the height, but you're limited. Unless you drill more holes, you're limited. And all I did was weld a plate on top of this. Not nearly as fancy as this with the roller bearing and all that sort of thing. So this works really well if I want to support, the front of the car while I'm working on the back of the car. I can put this underneath the core support or the front frame and adjust this up and down to where I want it and just, let it sit. So this serves its purposes as well, but it's really just a simple house jack, and I have it welded into a wheel that's from a golf cart. So you can see there, it's just a simple wheel, and it's not really meant to be nothing more than a stable center support. It's not meant to handle a side load of any kind, where this thing is going to be incredibly stable and be well worth the investment. Now, I will point out too, this thing, I don't know, 10 pounds maybe. This thing, that's heavy. Probably 25 pounds or so. There's a lot of steel there, but there's a reason for that. It's a tough support. It'll handle 4,000 pounds of weight. That's pretty good. Now let me show you what I'm doing that I need this. So I'm underneath the Brooklyn Pony, the 66 convertible that's up on a lift. Earlier today I was working on trying to fit the transmission into the car, and it wasn't working. I'll just say that. The suspension system that's under this car is from TCI, and it is a complex system, to say the least. You've got this cross brace here with this pipe work that is attached to another brace that bolts up to the bottom side of the seat pans. Being a convertible, it does have heavy duty seat pans under it, so that bolts to that. There's also frame connectors on the outside, and all of this stuff is bolted together. The problem with that, and what I'm trying to do here, is get this transmission to fit. And I've discovered that I need another 3 or 4 inches, So what that means is this has to come out. Okay, that's fine, except this supports all of this, which is attached to the rear differential. Really gets complicated because you start taking things away, you run the risk of having stuff off balance on the back, and I can't run that risk. You know, I'm doing this by myself and I have to be as careful as possible. So the plan is that I'm going to use this new support jack, or undercar lift support, whatever, under hoist, safety stand, whatever you want to call it. And I can leave this centerpiece here as long as it's supported. So now I can take this, pull out my pin, adjust my height where I may need it, and then work it up to make contact. Of course, I'll put a rag or something up there as well, but the point being, now I can support this structure, which will support the rear differential, and I can pull this stuff out of the way so that I can get the transmission in. Step by step by step by step by step by step by step. So now you know what's going on. As I said, I was working on getting the transmission in the car, and it got complicated and I got frustrated, so I had to step away and go buy some parts. And as it turns out, the local Harbor Freight didn't have that in stock, so I had to drive 20 some miles out of my way to another Harbor Freight, but they had it and I got it. So now I'm happy with that. Okay, just a teaser. The transmission is up on a jack. I point this out in the video. I did make some, or use a block system to attach it to the jack, and I think things are going to work out pretty good, but I need to get all of that suspension stuff out of the way. So that'll be my next thing, getting that out. And then I hope I can get the transmission in. Another thing I need to point out, and this is again probably a teaser, more details to come. Trust me, you're going to want to see this. Anyway. Alright, that's going to be the end of this video. Hopefully you found some information you can use. If you do have a 2-post lift, maybe even a 4-post lift, and you want some extra support while you're working on something, you could look at one of these under hoist jack systems from Harbor Freight or other brands. Like I said, there's other ones that are less complicated, maybe, built more like on a center shaft, but they're more expensive as well. So just consider that whenever you're looking for one. But anyway, thanks for watching. If you would, throw a thumbs up on this video, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't, and stay tuned. There's more videos coming, and hopefully I can give you some more information that you can use for your project. So until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya. First, hopefully I can get a good background. Let's see it. Alright, so I'm under the Brooklyn Pony. Alright, so that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you found some information you could use if you're using a car lift. You know, you need the underbody hoist. Hopefully you found some information you can use if you got a car, you know, or a 2-post lift you're using or whatever. You want to. I was wrong. I was wrong. Hey, that's okay. You can learn too. But yeah. So, but anyway, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, you know, throw a thumbs up on there, subscribe to the video,